Probably shouldn't leave that out in the world. You have a very tedious decision to decide. So, this whole hub is loaded in the 4 central chunks. 4 central chunks. But I did a stupid, and I built outside that. In fact, I did it on 3 occasions. So either I take the time to move everything inside, which is probably impossible for this, because I'm pretty sure I'd have to tear this down. Well, not necessarily, actually. I need to slot this somewhere in the column, but I could move the repeating command blocks anywhere. It doesn't really matter, they don't need to be triggered by redstone. But if I were to, say, put them here, then they get powered by the other side as well. That doesn't necessarily work either. I'm probably just going to extend the chunks. Just have to add this chunk, and one on that side, I believe. And then, as long as I make sure no mobs can spawn in these central chunks, it's not an issue of lag. So it's not horrendous. The annoying part is I did start trying to move stuff inside the chunks, which if I'm just going to load it, then I don't need to. Hey sheep. Need to neaten everything up too. This can probably go. This villager drops. Make sure stuff doesn't drop. Your guess is as good as mine, to be honest. I'm just figuring out like small stuff I can do, because I still have I have a lot of commands I have to write out. Just going around the build and deciding on what small little things I can do, clean up. I need to start heading towards polishing the map up, because it's almost done, which is nice. Like, stuff like this needs to be deleted. You can't have an end portal at spawn, defeats the whole purpose. Then aside from the... I'm still working on the dungeon system. That's what I have to write out. All of the commands for it are quite lengthy. Aside from that, I need to come up with... I think I have 2 more ideas I want to flesh out before I stop trying to add things. So I want the dungeon system to be able to generate unique resources, and that should be simple enough. I just use a scoreboard to detect whenever a player breaks X block in the dungeon, and then make it have a chance to give them, you know, like a iron nugget with text or something on it. Then that's the currency. And then the other one was I want a few more special items. So, for instance, we have this minecart. think I put in a chest right. See if this still works. If I do this, should, yeah, it generates rails. I want more just unique items like that for the player to craft. Not too many. I had one idea to make a way to put chests on any mob. That way you can turn them into essentially what donkeys and mules are, but actually usable. Because for instance, if you put, say, a minecart chest on a wolf, I think a lot more people would actually use them. This can probably go. Keep the chests, but the potion stuff is unnecessary. I can keep these blocks. Then I also need to set the world up so I can write everything down. So like, for instance, this is a multi-block structure, they're multi-block structures. Those are... everything else is not needed. And with these, although it looks nice, it's not necessary. Leave the key blocks. And I might rebuild them somewhere else. Congrats, sheep. I saw your message, sorry. I didn't have a chance to reply. It's about the 200 thing. Goals are great, but I wouldn't get, overly attached, because obviously the longer you go, the harder or the more it takes to reach those goals. So I would definitely try and keep the mindset of just, making stuff you enjoy, rather than actually trying to have a concrete idea of, I want to reach, X subs by X month. It's not a healthy mentality to keep. Then you're creating all these pressures for yourself that you don't necessarily need. Just do what you like. Needed, it's needed, not, technically not needed because I have it up there. What is, did not add nether wart to that. And what's this one? One's also decent. That's for me. And that's for that. That should have been expected. No worries. Have as much fun as you can at school. I was just going to say have as much fun, or have fun at school, but, well, we all know what school's like. Okay. All the multi-blocks. They need to be shielded, covered. We don't need these cauldrons, it's more for my knowledge. We need to finish putting this stuff back as well. And I can probably get rid of this chest as well. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Alt. Freeze. Skewer. Was Nautilus shells, I believe? Up there. Well, I can do this. Bang, bang, there. Yup, should be the rabbit foot. Magic. Fireball. Alert. Stun, 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 puffer fish. Yeah. Poison and wither. Should really make all those item frames invulnerable. Destroyed them too many times. I just want to make sure they're all over here. Looks like it, yes. Can go, that can go. And this one. Also go. Leave this one for now. Probably leave this. Get this stuff. Probably clear out the chests. It's just shulk, and this is all the boss drops. Okay, so way to exit the hub. This stuff up here is also probably not necessary. I might keep it. So there's a little tutorial section. Okay. I should take care of the chunks now before I forget. So this one is 2-2. No, sorry, 1-0. Should be 0-0. Well, that's interesting. This is 31-0. 31-31. That makes it annoying. Give me the chunk load. Not this level. It's very kind of you set to say, but that is realistically not a thing. And not because, you know, you can't do that. It's simply because of the mentality nowadays. No one can be as famous as someone has gotten, or no one can do what someone has done, because if you're the first one to do it, that's where you get your success. Like I'm saying, it's great to have goals, you know, definitely shoot for the stars. But you should put what you want to do and your happiness before those goals. Like if you have to sacrifice sleep or your own enjoyment or, you know, socializing, going out, then it's a bit of a problem. It's offensive. I've seen like snippets of Jimmy Mr. Beast's life, and I would not want that for all the money in the earth. And he basically has that, so saying something. Like he just works ridiculous hours. It's not great. One. That's that chunk. Unfortunately, I need this chunk as well. What's the lag looking like? 34 is not bad. That's about average for what I've been running at. If I'm doing that, I might as well load these two chunks as well. Yeah, that's a good philosophy. It's definitely the philosophy he has, but you have to be so strong-willed, so spirited, because obviously everything he does now is just ripe with people criticizing him and getting upset because he's not directly helping them. Or the scale of what he's doing is to them more than it should be at this point. Like here's where he helped people, blind people, where he paid for a bunch of surgeries and he got roasted for doing that. That was just ridiculous. The amount of negativity in the world just unfortunately outshines all the good stuff. Okay, so not exactly what I want, but 8 chunks loaded isn't horrible. Yeah, yeah. It just becomes an issue when it's the other way around. You make it for their enjoyment first, and then you sacrifice your fun. At least to me. Okay, where to build this system? Don't really want to go down more, because I also have to think of the shape of the structure, and right now, it's kind of weird. Goes like... whoosh. I might continue going up instead of down. I did want space to build rooms for a player to actually make their way up the tower while hiding everything. Sure, I'll give it a watch. Where to build, where to build. Thing is becoming very congested. Pretty sure I'm at the high limit too. Yeah. Up's not the right idea. I just have to stick it down here with the other dungeon stuff. I need that. Need that. This stuff tells me the coordinates, which I don't technically need anymore. It's probably safest to keep them. Here we go, bye-bye. We'll tear this up, so at least I know the space I'm working with. If I have something to say. I'm sure I can figure something. Okay. I leave this bit area open, I can sort of do a path. So maybe down more. I'm gonna end up blowing all this up, so it's fine. In fact, I might as well just do that now, since that is what I end up doing. Easier to blow it up first, or just get rid of it with commands. I think the most important thing to do is back up the world before I start playing around like that. World folder, make my own backups. Yeah, well, it's coming up to, I want to say, like 8 months now of working on it. Definitely has gone on a lot longer than I expected. Okay. Well, me, 16, so 15, negative 200, I want to say. With air. So 200 is too far. 100. Oh, 100 is not far enough. And now I've lost my position. Any 150 is too big. But because I got that error message and not this one, means there is stuff still there. Probably the bedrock, and I should really do this. Much better. Need some sort of marker. Well, it's 100. We'll do this mathematically. The void starts at where? Negative 63, right? We go up to 37, 37. This should be the correct spot. Nope, that was one off. 36 then. There we go. Neither. I can do problem solving, but I definitely wouldn't say I have, any sense or semblance of a gifted mind. But nor do I look up stuff. I use the wiki, but for the most part, I just play until something works. I mean, commands are very much just like normal Minecraft. You have all the pieces, and it's just about putting them together. I am starting to regret this too. Like, it looks bad, to be honest. Because the idea was to have the structure come out of a crater. I think I'd do better with TNT. Still have it go to the void. I think that's fine. But TNT just so it's not this clean cut. Why we made it back up. Much better. Anyway, let's... Enough playing around. Let's actually do some commands, since that's what I'm here for. So I need a scoreboard system. I then need... How many? I do one for each ore. Well, no, I'd probably do iron, gold, copper, anything that drops a in raw. Yeah, not diamonds or anything like that. We just do special metal. Then there's actual value to mining them. Because copper needs more uses. And I suppose we will build... Where to build? Same issue as before. I just build out from here. Okay, so the chain will be... First off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is the middle. Build up from here. So scoreboard detects. Scoreboard adds. No, I don't need to add because I'm using the inbuilt scoreboard resets. But scoreboard reset is after. No, I think actually these are only 3 command blocks to do what I want to do. It makes it super simple. If it's only 3, I can actually go nuts. Make a bunch of different stuff drop. That's unfortunate. I don't like the mentality of just restarting. I know people say, like, at some point YouTube basically just gives up on you if you make too many bad choices. But it seems kind of horrible. And if people just accept that mentality, then, well, it's not really going to change. How many ore blocks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not worry about the net. 8. Okay, so there's 8 command. There's 8 chains. Make them all 4. I'll give the player a chance to find it in the world, and then give them a chance to find it in the dungeon. I'll just make the dungeon more. So it's 8 by 4 is 32. What did you post on your other channel? Out of curiosity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's decent. Scoreboard. Objectives add. Iron ore. Dummy. No, the only subscribers were my friends. Yeah, that's not horrible. I mean, I posted for ages without Benji. I don't know if the mic picked that up. It's not like the cats I have coming in here. The first few videos I posted were nothing. That should be fine. Back here with the ore. Since I'm just copying it over. Does also mean I want to change stuff down there. I want to just make it deep slate. On channel, the same ideas I've done, which was memes, gaming, and... Yeah, so then... Why'd you start a new one? Did you just want, like, a different name or something? I'm gonna forget what they're called. Oops. Fine. Oh. I should have copied over Deep Slate as well. No, I should have copied over Minecraft. Got Deep Slate. Let's go underscore or do that. I'll make it easier. Okay, so this one is coal, iron, ooh, no capitals, copper, you will see. Kind of ominous. Also, I started doing art, and the art videos are okay. That's cool. I I did I tried the same, to be honest. I had a card game I was interested in developing. I had a few art videos for it. Nothing besides Sheepy Boy. So isn't that the same? You just got rid of the nothing besides? Lapis. And diamond. Okay, so that will detect whenever a player breaks any of the deep slate ores. And we need one command to give them something or summon something. To, yeah. Run off the random generator. So I'm just trying to consolidate my thoughts. One command to run off the random generator, give it if they break it in the overworld / nether. Not that you can find the nether, but say they were to put a block down. Yada yada. And then one to give them something if they break it within range of our dungeon system. And then one command to reset. Okay, so the reset should be simple as well. Scoreboard, players, reset at all, use scored, equals, all equals greater than 1. This is the channel. Ah, okay. Golden Car Tuber. Sheepy Boy's kind of more catching. Now it's just blah 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 because you renamed it. I would honestly be surprised if, you know, one in probably 5 people, if they didn't have a YouTube channel. And then of course you could make that, you know, everyone has at least one social media account. Whether it be, you know, like grandpa's tweeting or what do mums use? Mum use like, pretty sure mums, not TikTok, maybe Instagram to post their family pics. Now I have to remember the order again. Was coal, iron, copper, gold, redstone, emerald, lapis, diamond. Oh, that wasn't too hard. Iron. Why is copper after iron? In fact, why is copper between? Shouldn't it have a higher item ID? Redstone, then emerald. To be honest, it doesn't really matter the order I put them in, as long as they match up. They're not feeding into one another. Sure. Why Sheepy Boy? Lapis. Lapis. Diamond. Okay, and then the actual generator. Would be give at all scores are the same. be and or equals 1 dot dots. I do. We just tie it in here. Be fine. Can you do 2 scores? No, I don't think it likes it. It's interesting. I put these in quotation marks and do 2 scores that way. It's fine. Means it now becomes executes as at all if their all score is above 1. If the randomizer score, this probably needs to go into Word so I can copy it over because it's a bit too big. Sheeps are nice. I find that debatable. You guys' names, I don't know, I've never been great at them. So for instance, I use like random passwords. Like literally they are just random button mashes. And then they stick in my head for whatever reason. So like Kloo. In fact, yeah, Kloo. The first portion of my name is from one of that. I don't know why. I started a password off with KLOO. But then of course I was taking because apparently it's like a composer or something. So I had to add the extra L, the O's, and the Y's. How do I spell randomizer? American style. I'm pretty sure we use S's. There we are. Oh, god damn it. Executes as all equals or 1 dot dots if score nearest player randomizer. No. I shouldn't use scores because that doesn't allow me to set a range. Favorite YouTube video that I made? I have a bunch of boss mobs. Of them, the favorite one that I made, I have to actually look it up. I think it's the Ravager. Yeah. That or any of the dungeon generation stuff, because both of them I put a lot of effort into. Not the videos so much, but actually the ideas and concepts. There's also, if you've Elden Ring, if you've ever played or seen it, I made the horse mount from that, along with like the springs, so you can jump properly in Minecraft. That only got 10 views though. What is it like? Number. So I can do anything from 1 to 16. Which I'm tempted now, because I didn't finish it off before, so it might have been that reason. No, it doesn't like 2 scores. I Okay, so 1 to 16. In the overworld, we'll do 7 or 8. Yeah, yeah. Can I pick one? To be honest, I would. Well, honest answer would probably be the like latest whatever Minecraft video I made, because this has definitely turned into quite a passionate project. Please tell me, thank God. I thought I could cancel again. So honestly, the latest thing I come up with is my favorite so far. Because if you look at the stuff I'm building now, it's a lot more advanced than the stuff I started with. That's because I've been learning as I go. If entity score, blah blah. That's all I need. Actually, give. Yeah, give is fine. I can still use the @s. Okay, let's paste this into Word so I can actually tinker with it and see the whole command. Actually, it shouldn't be 7 to 8. It should be like 1 to 2, and that way I can do the dungeon one the opposite numbers. That way they don't trigger twice. It's out of 16, so I don't know. I'd like a 5% chance. 2 out of 16 is... Well, it's actually a 12% chance. It's actually too high. Then I don't want to be guaranteed in the dungeon. You know what? I will just make it 1 digit. Out in the world. So it's 2 digits. 10%. 10% is still quite a lot. Yeah, 2. 1 to 2. And then the other one will be 3 to maybe 10, 7 numbers. 8 would be 50%. Do I want it to be 50% of the time? No. Probably 3 to 3. 8, maybe? It should be 6 digits. No worries, sheep. Enjoy school as much as you can. Okay, so 6 out of 16 is a 37% chance, which is a bit better than a 12% chance. It's like 3 times as common. But then I also need if entities blah, blah, blah matches, and then if entity e tag equals build, then a distance. Let's see. This is 3 chunks, so it's 16, it's 48, so that's corners, say roughly 50. And then you need to go halfway, so 30. 32 should be enough to always guarantee that someone's... No, because if they're at an edge, it should be the 4, it should be 47. I just make it 50 to make sure. Not that you guys can see what I'm typing. Okay, but I can copy it over now. Okay. Now we have to type in the odds. This was coal. An iron. Copper, gold. Gold. Redstone. Yeah, redstone. Redstone. Emerald. Lapis. Diamond. Okay, then the actual give command. So this will give... That's actually what I have to decipher. I could just use the raw forms, but I feel like I should get a bit more creative with it. Go. What do I want to give the player to represent each thing? Could use dyes. The way a player to farm dyes. Then I'd probably want to make it more common. Do the simple ones first. So gold and iron can be their nugget form. Like a little fragment. Redstone. Not any food. Bone meal, meh. Pretty sure I'm just picking stuff from that table. Yeah. Don't want to be something the player can easily use. Prismarine shard for diamond. Going to be trickier than I think. This fragment's from coal. Blaze powder from redstone. Eh. 3 to go. Do I just do the metals? What they normally drop? Then I guess the player can either hold on to them as a special version, or they can use them to, get iron or whatever as normal. Means I don't really have to decipher anything. Ooh. I like it being fragments of stuff. See if there's enough items. Blaze powder's kind of iffy. I need 2 more. Something orange and something red. Honeycomb. Would be blaze powder. What for copper? Or glowstone or anything like that. Glowberries? Coral? There's not a lot of orange items in the game. I could give carrots, cookies. I mean, the only, realistic choices are quartz, amethysts. I mean, amethysts are horrible. I can give them, small buds, something like that. something that's small. Why is this so difficult? Honeycomb looks too weird. Or, you know what? To make it less complicated, I should just have them give all the same thing. So for instance, if I made them all give, say, disk fragments that I rename as like a secret thing they find, and just change the quantities. So for instance, you could get, I don't know, 3, 2, 2, no, that should be 3 as well. What? 1 from coal, 1 from iron, 1 from copper, 2 from gold, 2 from redstone, something like that. And that way, because I plan to do like trading with it, so for the villager trades, it becomes a lot easier. In fact, yeah, because it'd just be disk fragments and then the other materials you can get from the dungeon. Alright, that's a better idea. It also makes the commands a lot simpler, because I only have to do one of them. It was disk fragments 8, or 5, sorry. And then the amounts, which I'll change later, and then in here goes that. Okay, let's just put it down here. Oh, you know what, I'll type it in here for you guys. So it should be tag, right? Would you not need tag? You just skip straight to display. I think you skip straight to display. These are all the tags of the item. I probably want both the name and the lore slot. Yeah. Just test it to make sure. Work. I've typed it out right from memory. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't really matter what I give. Work in ink. Perfect. So then we also want color, italics, and bold. Color. Italic. The thingamabobs. This is true or false, so it's not needed. And then bold. And then bold. That thing. Okay, what to call them though? And color. And I probably should fill these out because I don't want italics. And I don't want bold. Color. Green, maybe? I've kind of been overusing gold. I'll probably just do green. And then the lore text can just be white. Something creative. Fragment of the world, no. Enchanted fragment, maybe. Then I'd probably want to add the enchantment tag, so it glows, which isn't too bad. Ah, Canted fragments. Canted fragments. Enriched. I should do this in Word so it's spelled correctly. Okay, that'll do for now. Copy it over so we can test it. Should have done it in Word because this is awfully long. What are we up to? First bit of white. Yeah. Ah, I don't like that though. I don't like the fact that it still says Music Disc 5. Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. We have the concept down. I can just change what item I use. I'm already making use of echo shards, so I can't do that. I really like this because it's honestly just a fragment. Does it show it all? Is there a way for me to get rid of that text? No, it's not a part of it. Hmm. What else could I use then? I go back to prismarine shards or crystals. I would like something darker since it is from Deep Slate. Ah, whatever. If it breaks someone's immersion, it breaks someone's immersion. Enriched with energy of the world. We'll add a new line. Perhaps a collector may be interested. Am I happy with green? And white? Yeah, yeah. Make sure it looks fine again. Big, it's fine. Enriched with energy of the world, perhaps a collector may be interested. Looks good to me. One. I'll remember the digits later. Right, that's where I'm going from all of them. No. They need a space. It's fine, we can work around that. Coal was 1. It was also 1. Copper was also 1. Gold, redstone at 2. Do a space. Oop. Emerald is 3. 3. Get the space thing again. 2, 3. Right, we'll just turn coal on for now to make sure it's working. Granted, it's probably going to take me a while. I'll do it here, since this should have the build tag, so it should be the easier version. They are worrisome, though. Type equals draft. Much better. A netherite pick. Enchant. Efficiency 5 is the max, right? Yeah. We have 1, right? Do you guys what I should actually be doing is making sure the scoreboard is working. Every time we break it should flash. Which it is not. Interesting. Off. Or broken Minecraft deep slate ore. Am I misunderstanding how the scoreboards work? Seems I am. Minecraft broken. Suppose I have to look them up then. Scoreboard. Objectives. Broken. Minecraft. Probably gonna think I mean, are they broken? Ah, that's curious. Why is that a thing then? So broken is... when it breaks in your hand. Is insane. But apparently mined is a thing. I can change it, and we're fine. Why would they... I guess they just did it for everything. Regardless of if it has durability or not. So instead of broken, these need to be mined. 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 Bye. Back for a little bit, got time to create a new video, just put my new video. Okie dokie, if I get a chance, I might have a look at it cheap. I should have to delete the scoreboards too. Ah, right, they're not turned on, so that's fine. Alright, because I didn't turn the reset back on. But we know it's working, obviously. Don't know why it's triggering constantly though. If that's greater than 1, if there's an entity randomized between 3 and 4, it's fine, and then it's the same. Okay, let's try and test this properly. Put a few more out and we'll see how many we get. We can get one. Let's do that so I can see. Okay, so we're getting a decent amount of them, which is bad. I want them to be rare. No, sorry sheep, I'm not doing that. That is not something you should ask. And as for how much longer, I don't know. I go till I am tired, or I can't think of anything else to do. Okay, so the randomizer is 2 greats. So instead of 3 to 8, I guess we shrink it. And we'll do 3 to 4, 3 to 5 maybe. We'll put 10 out. No, we'll put 20 out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This should be a decent test. Oops. So from 20, we got 8, which is about half the time, which is still surprisingly too great. Okay, I guess I am really neutering the chances. So I guess without being in the dungeon, it should just be a single number. And then when in the dungeon, it should be 2 digits. Oh, you know what it is. Okay, see you sheep. It's the overlap. So there's 2 ways I can do this. Either in the dungeon, there's now 3 numbers, because you can get it off of the first chain, and then the second chain, so that's fine. Or I can make it so they overlap, and in the dungeon, if you do get it, you're guaranteed to get 2. But then it's a slower chance. We'll just do 20 again. And try to work out the odds. This was what I deleted. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 20. So there should be a 3 in 16 chance that I'm going to get one of our drops. Seems too common. I'm making both single digits. I mean, I know the randomizer can obviously pick the same numbers back to back, and then that's what's creating the false positive, so to speak. So I should really test this outside of the dungeon zone. We'll try it on 2 again. So out of 20, we got 11. one. That's rare. That's good. About 20, we got 2. I'll never say no, but I will have to say that's unfortunately going to be highly unlikely. Definitely just want to, sort of do my own things. As much as I enjoy. But you never know. This should be far enough away. Same thing, we'll do 20 blocks and see how many drops we get. We already got 1. We got 3, we got 4. I mean, I would most likely assume we just got highly lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, I don't mind if you get a lot of them. I can adjust that on the other side of the spectrum, make trading cost a lot more. Alright. I guess let's see for real this time, Shape. We got 3 at a time. Again, it should only be 1 in 16. It's funny, because actually efficiency will affect how many you can get. Because if you can break a block, within X ticks of one another, you'll be able to trigger it when it's on the same randomizer roll. But I think, for consistency's sake, or rather, I don't know, to make the odds more favorable inside the dungeon, we'll leave this 2 to 3, and we'll leave the first one just 1. There's 3 numbers that you can get the drop on the dungeon, and then there's 1 number outside the dungeon. So you can still get them, but it's just rarer. Does unfortunately mean I need to fix all these up. Also want to do the same thing with the new suspicious sand. You have a handful of stuff I would like to add around 1.20 aside from the armor stuff I've done. Just to give players who, want to experiment on the new patch something else. And then also to make the maps remain relevant even when the update comes out. It does seem like we're getting quite close. Okay, now I just need to grab the data so I can take a look at it. Don't have commands still available. So tag display, I mean lore goes first, that's pretty standard. I only really need the name. Well, no, if I'm trading, I should probably do the whole thing. But to this, I just need to add tag, so I can add it to my equipment templates, where I've got all the items I've made written down. Well, actually, I only need it from name, apparently. Is the metric I'm using. So, to there. Cool. Right, what time is it? Almost 1. Probably about lunchtime. Do just want to fix up one of these zones. I believe it's this one. Anywhere that has ore, I want to change to the deep slate version of it, since that's now going to play better with the actual system. Right, these are blocks. Do I leave it as blocks? I do. They're blocks, that's fine. There should be 1 or 2 sets that are ore. The top 2, I think? Yeah. Since the system won't work with normal ore mine. Spawner, spawner. Is that it? No. I think it's in the normal rooms too, fortunately. The joy of changing things after you've done it. Been so much simpler if I thought ahead. You know what they say, hindsight is 20/20. Oh, hoppa. Oh, we're getting there. Also need to think up at least one other use. But I don't mind having these items, you know, be tradables. But if that's it, then at some point the player's just going to be sick of finding them. They need to have an actual functional use as well. I think it might be nice to serve with some sort of catalyst item tied into one of the other systems, one of the other crafting style of systems. To make it some sort of ridiculous cost. Like a whole stack of them to do something. Okay. I suppose we should test it just to make sure. What's the second one right? Ooh, I do want to cut the top off. Make it easier. Okay, so deep slate, deep slate, deep slate. Little shulker boy inside. Oh, there's some gold ore inside. Okay. Looks to be working fine. Why do you go above? You're just in the roof, weirdly. That's not bedrock. Okay. I do just want to go with the shulkers because they're annoying to keep around. Everything else should be fine. Oof. Question is, what else do we build? What else do I want to build? The item I was talking about before, like novelty items, I think it will be easier to do with the ride command in 1.20. So I might make this a feature for that. Still would like to come up with a few other items. We'll take a look at this rail system. So I definitely want to try and fix it. I know it's not 100% working. For instance, I'm pretty sure I only need to put one in. It generates tracks, goes up. Should be able to go down, but it doesn't. No, it gets confused. Yeah. So I tried to make it run with curves and everything, so if it hits a wall, it turns. I'm pretty sure that was sort of a dead end. Oh, perfect. But in doing so, there's some issues with it, as you saw. There's no real priority to it. So like here, it continues to try and go forward instead of down. Don't really want to have to clean stuff up, but, you know, besides, just see how it does. Some more pushes. Yeah, so downhill doesn't quite work. Which I think I'd rather have it just go in a straight line and not be able to turn or go, you know, around walls. Then at least you can, you know, set it up and forget about it if you're making some sort of path. So, if memory serves, it should be attached to somewhere there. That should be the rails. Pretty sure I did this, so I would remember. So currently, it has a few different sort of logic statements. So it's executing at the entity that has Railmaker in its inventory. Is that right? Execute at entity, use NBT items. Yeah, so inventory. Unless there's rail, unless this is all complex jargon. I think the best way to sort of piece together would be to rewrite the whole thing. So how many statements do I have? I think I have 8 statements running, right? Yeah. We just take the first statement. Get rid of this now. We will just swap over to this so you guys can see Word. We will copy this over. Execute at the Railmaker, unless blah blah blah, unless blah blah blah. Essentially, we just need to tell it if there's an air block, where to put stuff. If there's no air block, where to put stuff. I've just made it overly complex, trying to get around walls. Yeah. No, I'm not going to copy all that. That's way more than it should be. Yeah, so that's the basic statement we're working with. You guys can see. Need an up the layout because I am a slightly OCD. Okay, so without it in the chest. So first off, unless there's, the first statement should be, unless there's a rail block underneath it, if we want it to generate another rail block. So unless Minecraft.rail, that goes at the end, right? I've already messed this up. Unless block and coordinates Minecraft rail. Unless there's a rail block underneath, we'll set a rail block underneath itself. That's pretty simplistic. Then if there's an air block, so we also need an unless. So we should add a second unless statement to this that is doing the same thing but detecting if it's an air block. We also don't want it to. That'll stop it floating. Get rid of this. And the second statement would be that scenario when there is an air block. So it'd be this, but if instead. So we don't need this clause. We actually do need this clause still. We want it. We don't want it to double up. It should just be changed to 2. So if there's an air block 2 blocks down, it will set rail 2 blocks down. Is that right logic? Am I thinking about that correctly? Let's just do this. Execute at e type equals, I want to say it's minecart chest, but it also might be chest minecart. Let's see. Yeah, it's the other way. Okay, and then we want our 2 logic statements. And then we can give it a push and see what happens. Why do nothing. Execute at blah 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 unless there's a minecart rail underneath, unless there's an air block underneath. I might have the hitboxes confused. Yes, I do. These should not be -1. I guess keep shouldn't be keep. How do you do hitboxes? F3B? Yeah, so 1 would be where the rail is now. Get rid of the air statement. Okay, so that's correct. The air statement should be -1. Yeah, but it should still, yep, good. Fix that in our little sheet here. Which means that these should also all be -1 now. And that should allow it to go downhill fine. Perfect. I don't want to set to replace, because then they could, use it to go through walls. But now we want uphill. That's the other major hurdle. For instance, if we were to clear this path, we have the minecart going nicely down, but then it stops. We'd like it to go up as well. The issue is we need a way for it to go up without just constantly trying to generate rail above itself. The other issue too is up can only work. Up can only work if we give it some sort of directional awareness to know that it needs to go up here, or it needs to go up here, or vice versa. That's where it becomes a lot more complicated. I mean, the statement's the same, we just have to do it 4 times. So let's think about the scenario. That's the easiest way for me to sort of piece it together. So in this position, we have rail underneath, but we have a block in front of us. So this should be unless is air. So that's pretty simple. This is the one we're working with. So we're still detecting rail underneath us. That's the condition for us to put one forward. But then this should be unless. And then it should be on the same Y level, but we need to pick a direction. And then it should be something like that. 2, 3, 4. Negative. Negative. 1. Negative 1. Okay, let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And more on. Fingers crossed. First scenario. Don't generate anything. Good. Second scenario. You generate something. Right, because you generated once you hit this block. And why didn't you generate something when you hit this block? Curious. What's the issue? Which direction are we working with, just to make this easier? This is positive Z, right? Positive Z should be this one. Okay, so execute at railmaker. Yeah, well, in this case, it's that. Unless there's already a rail underneath us. Right, that's the issue. Unless it should be if. These statements should be if. So it only tries to generate if we're on a rail. It won't generate if there's an air block. Okay. Take two. Huh. Nope. So it got to this position and then it tried to put one here. That's what made it turn. Tried to put one inside as well, I guess. Yeah, so this is where it gets super complicated. Because in this scenario, this is triggering and this is triggering. We want it to prioritize one over the other. I don't think there's actually a good way to do that. I mean, downhill works fine, and straight works fine. Trying to go uphill. So right now, if we do this, it'll put both. And then they don't connect. I mean, I could just... oh... This is a really crappy way to do it, but I could do unless... block, and then do each direction, and blacklist the other three. They'll need to go up 1, 2. I'm pretty sure this is going to end up exactly what I have. The only difference is doing up and down instead of corners. Okay. Let's figure out what command needs what. We're still only dealing with Z, so we'll just try that first. No, I should probably just do it on all of them. Okay. We can sound this out. So it's the three statements that are not the if statement. Or not where we're generating. So this one should be these three statements. Oh, yeah. And there. Didn't like how I copy pasted. It's fine. Everyone, but that's middle one. And this bottom one is everything but the top one, right? No, everything but the bottom one. Which, did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, we're going from the if statement. Fingers crossed this does fare better. I don't know how to feel. It kind of worked. No idea why it missed a few places. I think I can sort of solve it. It does create a lot of junk rails though. I think the easiest solution to that is just create another command block that is deleting all the items. But I would say its pathing definitely works better. I think I just need one more command that is trying to place a rail one block underneath, if need be. You're stationary, you won't do anything. So when it falls, it needs to place a rail there. As it's falling, because that's what's happening, I think. That's why it's creating all the different gaps when it's up, and then gets to this block and doesn't put a rail here. So it would be execute at, unless there's a rail block, one block down. Don't care about the air block, since we're using keep. We are running set block, one rail down. I think that should be all we need to smooth it out a bit more. Give it another run. There is a turning priority though. No, so what's going on with it exactly? Why is it skipping every second rail? The only reason it could be skipping them is because it's honestly it's placing them one block high. But why at these positions is it placing them one block high? Right, because it's here. So it's trying to place it on top of there and then there. So the command block we just set up had no change whatsoever. It did nothing for the system. Execute at rail, unless there's block underneath it, one block down, and it's going to set it. I think if we just get rid of that clause whatsoever and we just have it constantly trying to place a rail 2 blocks down, it might work. Might. Big might. Nope. Still building up. Is the issue. Right, because it builds up here. And then on the way it's down, I guess it's trying to build on the same axis. Don't quite understand. Unless there's an air block down one. Is that the unneeded segment? Like, we were to just do that, so it constantly places one underneath it. It's got keep anyway. But still Still skipping every second rail. Why? Turn this one off. So this command block will make sure it constantly has a rail underneath itself. Right, but it's detecting the rail as a block. So that's the air block. Doesn't work. I would need to double up every air block statement with the inverse as a rail block. It still wouldn't work because they wouldn't cancel each other out. What's the solution? I can have it try and place a rail block in each direction. But then if I have it do the height as well, it's not going to work. I think we just can't have it try and climb hills, fortunately. There has to be some sort of creative solution. Grab this rail. Trying its hardest. How does the current version fare? Out of curiosity. I stayed on the same path. Doesn't go downhill. And flakes out, so already that's worse. I think that's a yes, this one, and those four are probably a no. This still works, goes down, it just can't go up. But it's fleshed out, doesn't turn, which is fine. We can go in a straight line down, so it still has its utility. And I could make it put down other rails too. Like I could have it alternate between, say, detector. No, it's activator into powered, right? No, it's detector into powered. It's been so long since I played around. Yeah. I'll have an alternate between rail, detector, and powered. And then just have it delete any rail that's nearby. That's as an item. I really want it to go uphill. There is one other way I could quantify it. But it wouldn't work in all scenarios. So for instance, turn these off. What I could do is, say it's here, and it's trying to go this way. I could have it detect this rail, and then understand that it needs to put a rail up here. So that if there's no rail on that side, it wouldn't. And that way, if it gets to this wall, it won't try to place anything there if it's not going in that direction. It'll only try to go up and in the direction it's currently going. Which logically makes sense. Mentally in my head, I need to figure out what exactly I'm speaking. Because to me, it's very much gibberish. Probably like it is to anyone listening. Just do one, and then the logic will work itself out. Map it out. So in this position, rail behind it, we want to put a rail there. So the conditions are, there needs to be no air block here. Just write down. We will take the two commands I do like, which is this one, and I believe this one. That's the one that allows it to go uphill. And we will work on this one. Okay. There'll be 4 statements. There somewhere I can tab out. Really. I don't like doing that because I can break stuff when I go back in. So, there needs to be a rail underneath itself, so that. There then needs to be a rail in a opposite direction to the rail it's trying to place. That. We'll just do this X is what I normally do. This would be going in negative X, it's fine. And then there needs to be no air block in the opposite direction to that rail. So unless block, this one, it should be -1. And then if that condition's met, we want it to run set block up 1, and it should be on top of the non-air block, so it should be -1x, like that. Minecraft.rail. Ooh. I mean, it looks right to me. Set block 2 words? Oh, right, I didn't specify. Yeah. Oh. Huh. Does this help me? Not really, no. This would just make it more complex. I'd rather place the rails and let them shape each other. If I have to predefine all, 8 shapes? No, there's more than 8. There's 6 there, and 4. 10 shapes. More commit blocks. Okay, so this is -x, so it should be this side. If we have a rail here, 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 we turn this on, it should put a rail up there. Okay. Okay. Getting somewhere. Same statement. 4 more times. The opposite X is simple enough. I just inverse everything. Then the Z matches whatever the denomination is on the X's. And to make it simpler, I just do this. And I get rid of them and add the negative sign in there. Oh, 4. None of these have keep. So, there we go. Should be good. Only what needs to. It should be able to travel in a straight line over things now. And here, it shouldn't do anything on that side. Perfect. Went over the bushes. So close. I mean, one block gaps isn't too much of an issue. I mean, I can... That was the wrong thing to do. I can fix that sort of simply if I just make it teleport up a block if it's ever stuck inside a block. And that means it means you can cheat. I don't necessarily want, because you can create elevators. Granted, there'd be no way for you to passenger them, but you could create item elevators, which I don't necessarily want. By forcing a chest into a wall, it will go straight up. I mean, we'll do it just for the sake of testing, and then I can decide whether or not I want to keep it. So unless that should be unless block rail and unless block air run dp. This is at though, not as, right? I need to fix that. As at. Yeah, so if it gets to that, interesting. I don't know if it just ran out of momentum. We'll see. So in this scenario, it should be teleporting itself up. You know what the issue is? Same thing I always forget. Yeah, so it teleports itself up. Ugh. Definitely need to make it delete rail. But then there's already an exploit to generate rail. So if you were to hopper out the rail maker, since that's what I'll be using to detect and understand that it needs to delete. The other thing I need to do is the 4 commands that were a success, I now need to duplicate them 4 more times and make it the negative values so that it can go up, sorry, negative y values, so that it can go up steeper hills. Because right now in this scenario, in this scenario, it can't put one here because there's no rail on the edge here. It needs to detect the one down as well. Which isn't horrendous. Which means I take these 4, and I duplicate it again. But this time, the rail that it is detecting, the if statement, there needs to be one underneath, and there needs to be one behind it. That's -1, sorry. The air block should still be the same, because I'm only changing the detection of the block behind it. And then the teleporter system we want to use as well. Also, just paste this down. before I forget. Make it easier when I do the command blocks. So it was 8 commands, is now 10, 11. But it should be more dynamic. It should actually function as I initially intended. So execute as blah 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 at as at there. We got there in the end. Do run TP upper block, it's fine, and then the last command that we want is this. Execute at blah blah blah. Run E type equals item. NBT equals item. Is it items or item? I think it's just item. Yeah, it's item ID. Dot rail. And a distance. Almost forgot. I mean, the scope of it should only have to be 2 blocks. I just make it 3 just in case. 2. Why does that look like there's no space? Okay, so then the quandary is how far do I want to take this system? Because ideally, that's if you have it in chest minecart. If you were to put it in furnace minecart, a hopper minecart, I could have it then place different blocks. You know what I'd actually like it to do? It's in a furnace minecart, which you can't actually, I can't do anything with, can I? No, you can only toggle it with coals. It doesn't actually have an inventory. Ah. You can attach them, right? No, they don't actually attach, it only pushes it. Because I would like a system where if, say this has Railmaker in it, it will replace the rails underneath it with, I don't know, like powered rails. And that way, if you actually make a train of a few minecarts, you can have it build proper rail systems that actually are functional. But I'm just trying to think if there's a simpler way to do it. Like, for instance, if you just had a convoy. Say the chest. Right, because it's trying to build up and up. My only issue with this is it's probably going to cause a lot of lag. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this in tandem right now is really bad. 39. I think all of them in tandem because they're scanning for a minecart. Turn them all off. It's not causing that much of an issue. It's about 2 milliseconds. Is that what it is? It's not horrendous. I do need to fix this up though, before I forget. Should be able to fix it though. No. No, because right then, the issue was there's no way for me to tell it that this isn't a solid block when it tries to build a rail on top of it. I mean, I guess I could do the opposite and say unless there's already a rail at that level. And then that would stop it trying to treat this rail as a full block. So on these, if I were to do one more unless statement that just matched the air block essentially. That fix it. If I were to do unless block in that direction rail. Yeah, because then it's only looking for 4 blocks. It would be unless block 1, 2, 3 minecart dot rail. And I just have to match whatever the air block says. There. -1. 1. -1. Okay, let's go up to the top and tear out that system. And then we'll put this one in and we'll do 2 things. We'll see how much lag it's causing. And then if its functionality is there. Otherwise, I will gut it down to just a straight line and downhill, I think. Probably clean my inventory at this point. Just to make sure inside here is nothing, so that's fine. Where's this one? That one is bad too. Careful not to break something I actually want. I probably want to separate them just so I know where one system starts. Okay. That one. That one. We'll leave the 2 sets of 4. P. Also just get a baseline. So we're at 33 at this height. After I turn all the commands on, I just want to see how much lag it's causing. And then they need 2 more each. 1, 2. Okay, so 33, ooh, becomes 37. It's not good. Let's just see how it functions. It'll be the kill command running constantly. That's one of the main, the main issues with it. Working for the most part. Still leaving a few holes, which are the issue. I did just want to make sure it can go up that 2 hill. It's also allowing a few rails to still drop, so I have to increase the range. I think if I increase the range, I could probably tie it to some sort of timer system that's not running the kill command, 20 times a tick and then causing lag. Also, I just want to double check I turn them all on. I feel like it was running smoother before. So they're all on. Let's pick a tighter hill to go up, this one. Climb. And of course, you don't have the power to. That's the issue. But the whole idea is to be able to finally make use of furnace minecarts. I could find where they keep coal nowadays. It's gotta be facing the other way, doesn't it? How do furnace minecarts work? Okay, so it does go like that. And it is working. Within reason. But the big issue. If it's not 100%, I don't think I can use it. That's the truth. Because I don't want to put something in the map that, someone makes and there's tons of issues with it. We'll turn off all the other stuff and we'll just do the downhill portion and see if it feels decent. I still want the kill command, I still want the teleports. Is this? That, unless it's on a rail, and unless there is vacant air. That shouldn't be impeding it. The gap it missed. Why did it miss gap? It was coming downhill, And it just passed over that block, I suppose. Is there a way for me to fix that? Yes, I need to run it again. Really understand what happened. Where can I go up? Yeah. Let's try giving it a big push myself. Nope. Then also like here where it's put the rails on top of the rails. Means I need an unless statement that is also checking if there's a rail underneath. Down a block. If there's a rail down a block, I don't want it placing another rail. And this is what I meant when it becomes so convoluted. Did I get the rail? I did. What to do, what to do. Scrap it entirely. So if block rail. So if it's on a rail, if there's a rail below it, behind it. So actually that double up is causing the issue. I need that double up for it to go up these types of hills. I just need to set it to not put a rail down if there's a rail underneath where it's going to put it down. Ugh. It's headache inducing. So it's just this, it's essentially this statement repeated, but down one block. So much easier if we are able to work within the scope of one block. The problem is I'm trying to add these 4 directions as well, and that's what's making it really complex. Because there's too many different situations for these, because there can be 1 block up, 1 block down, rail, no rail. There's too many states that each of these positions can be in. Just go tear up those the 8 bottom commands, and then try to fix them up. Try to test it some more. Okay, because as it is right now, this is just straight lines and going downhill. If I try and make it go this way, it's just going to hit into the wall. Help if I put the item inside. Yeah, so it just hits the wall. If I go this way though, should fare a bit better. It builds down, it still skips a block though. It skips a block when it's going downhill and sort of leaps. So when it's going down here, its momentum is making it skip that block. I'd probably have better success if I had 2. Of course, one goes the other way. Anyways, I should probably just scrap the idea. Because it's not something people are really going to use. It's minecarts after all. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna scrap the idea. As unfortunate as that is, its utility is just not as useful as I I'm thinking. I might come up with something else I could do with minecarts. I suppose some sort of way to increase a hopper minecart's range. That's probably something beneficial, or even a way just for a chest minecart to collect items. Not that that's really feasible. I can make it teleport items to it, but without a hopper or something to actually, for the game to interact with, I can't do that. I wish... Actually, well, no, I've never tried it, but I doubt it. If you had a hopper minecart and a chest minecart together, if items traveled, that would have been a cool utility. Like, I can make the Railmaker here increase the range. But then you'd also need a way to stop the Railmaker from coming out of the hopper minecart, and that's in itself horrible. What if I really made it simplistic? Just minecarts. So if I just made it constantly put rail underneath itself. Oh, surely that would be good enough. It can no longer go uphill. It can technically go downhill. Oh, it does that. Then I can fix that easily too. I just do the same thing as this command. I just make it -1. Oh, no. Yeah, I'll do. That's a problem. Eventually it'll go off again. At least it's smooth now. And then I can still run the... Getting complex again. I can still run the teleport command if it goes into a block. And I would still have to run the kill command, so it doesn't continuously generate rail. Stupidly, as you saw there, it's on the edge of this block. It's technically in that block. It's not. I'm pretty sure if I were to use a line, it still wouldn't work. I mean, I can try. A line, a line, a line, B. Saltita. Yeah. Even with the align. This hitbox is slightly bigger than the actual box it's on. Unfortunate. Suppose all I'd have to do is make an if statement that was 2 airblocks down. It's going round in circles. -2 is air. And that would stop this big issue. But it does now. Now it's skipping blocks. Dog. He's allowed in this room. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I've got a few things to mull over. I think the other option could be, instead of trying to place rails once it gets to an edge to detect, I could just make it teleport. Because if I teleport the minecart up here, for instance, then it fixes the issue of it detecting, multiple times because it's moved. It should still place a rail here, meaning that the rails still become connected. I think you carry momentum if you teleport. I can't remember if it zeros everything, in which case it'll still go forward. And it means I would just need to make it teleport up and teleport down. Then as soon as it's obviously is on a block, it stops teleporting. I think that would be the simplest solution. Oh, I'm hungry and need a little break. I'm going to leave it there. Whoever's hanging around, thank you. And anyone watching in post, thanks as well. See you next time.